Our first speaker, is someone whom I've worked very closely with when he came in as mayor of the city of Harrisburg. He is, of course, our distinguished mayor, Honor Eric Papin. Eric Papin, please come to the podium. Join me and welcome the mayor of Harrisburg. Before the mayor speaks, I want to say we have collaborated on a Florida assisted housing program for the city of Harrisburg, and the mayor are on the same page with regards to tax abatement, which is sorely needed in the city. We're going to get that done, Mayor. So, yes. Mayor of Harrisburg, Eric Papin.
First, a great thank you to Brian. We are truly fortunate to have you here in the capital city. Thank you for all that you do and all that the HFA does. Also, congratulations to the Greater Harrisburg Habitat. That's just wonderful. You all do truly impactful work right here in the community, and I'm thrilled that we were able to get that support this morning. I have some prepared remarks for you. It's a real honor to be invited to speak here today at the 2015 Commonwealth Housing Forum. Rock the house, eh? Well, we'll see. Look, I would be remiss if I didn't start any welcome by saying, while you are here, I invite you all to enjoy our many fine restaurants, shops, museums during your stay in Harrisburg. That's my job. I bet you can't help but notice that there really is a new dynamism enveloping our city and our people who are taking a new sense of pride in their homes and in their neighborhoods. There are clear reasons for Harrisburg's spirit of renewal and renaissance, and I want to share with you just a little information about some of the developments in Harrisburg that are directly impacting our residents and stimulating new development and investment in our city. Yesterday, you may have seen, we held a major press conference at City Hall to announce the start of a comprehensive planning process that is going to chart the course for development in Harrisburg for the next 2 decades. And a large part of that development will be focused on housing as we try to design a city that nurtures a quality standard of living and stimulates enough economic vitality to attract major businesses and investment. So yesterday, I stood with community leaders and Harrisburg residents to announce the city had chosen a consulting firm, a local firm, the Office of Planning and Architecture, which will lead the comprehensive planning process. OPA, as they're called, will help stakeholders chart the city's growth for the next 20 years. It really was a profound moment in Harrisburg's history. The city's last comprehensive plan, if you can believe it, is over 40 years old. Yep, 40 years ago. And that's far too long for a city to sort of meander along without serious thought being given to how to invest in our neighborhoods, stimulate business development, or contemplate transportation, infrastructure, educational needs. Now, the good news is that the process is now well underway, and much thought will be given over the next 10 months to restoring the city's building and housing inventory. We soon are going to begin a series of public meetings in June to engage residents and businesses on this important initiative. And we have committed an unprecedented level of transparency so that people can stay informed and get engaged. The city's website is going to provide regular updates, and the lead consultant will also have its own comprehensive planning website with updates and the ability to chime in the coming weeks. I should also say it's a little thing, but for Harrisburg it's a big thing. We've redesigned our planning website. So if you go to harrisburgpi.gov and you click on planning in the departments, come to a wonderful interactive GIS map. So any homeowner can go, they can find their plot, they can click on their home, they can have access to their zoning, they can know if they're in a floodplain or a historic district, they can know what rules and regulations apply to them. And we're going to be overlaying that map as we move forward in coming months with everything from trees to street lights to make interacting with the public easier from a planning perspective. So check in with us regularly and help follow Harrisburg's strategic planning process. I invite everyone in this room to offer your thoughts to our steering committee, our city officials, and to basically be involved. It is truly an exciting time here in Harrisburg. Since I stepped into office last year, we've made great strides in tackling blight, stimulating home ownership, and instilling a new sense of pride in our neighborhoods. We see our top priority as ensuring that every citizen has suitable, safe, and affordable housing. And early in my administration, we began addressing basic issues of housing safety, such as dealing with lead paint. Using HUD funds, we've implemented a lead-free program to educate the public about lead paint and to provide funding to make homes lead-free. The first year, we were able to add 80 homes to the lead-free roster compared with 60 from the previous years. And this is not just a question of housing codes, but of saving the lives of Harrisburg's children, many of whom live in impoverished, single-family households. With so many people living below the poverty line, or right at the poverty line, the majority of our residents, we also have the added problem of being mostly a city of renters. 60% of our residents rent rather than own their homes. But we're focused on changing those statistics, and we've made a great push to encourage people to move back into the city and to purchase homes. To bolster our push for home ownership, we've offered some serious incentives for people to consider purchasing property in Harrisburg. And to lead by example, to encourage people to live and work in the city is now providing $2,000 to city workers who want to purchase a home and walk to work in Harrisburg. And we've reached out to employers, along with Bryan and PHFA. Pinnacle Health, for instance, the city's largest private employer, joined our Walk to Work program this year and is offering $5,000 to full-time employees to purchase homes in the city of Harrisburg. We've issued a call to every business in Harrisburg to offer similar incentives. We've also supported existing property owners by offering loans for demolition and grants to restore home facades. We've designed our rehab program to help elderly and low-income homeowners whose families and lives are connected to our city. Many elderly and low-income residents want to keep their homes well-maintained and beautiful, but they lack the resources to do so. So my administration is committed to helping our residents take pride in their homes and in their neighborhoods. A clear example of our commitment is a new and exciting project called Mulder Square that I want to tell you a little bit about. We are in the process of transforming a long-neglected part of the city through grant applications to invest $27 million to help beautify the streetscape, renovate dilapidated housing between Dairy and Mulberry Street. That's where the name comes from, Mulder, Mulberry, and Dairy. The project is going to revitalize a neighborhood that has been known for blighted buildings and crime. And it will directly impact the lives of hundreds of people. Another clear sign of Harrisburg's rebirth. If you're not entirely sure where it is right as you reach the other side of the Mulberry Street Bridge. Got beautiful views of the city. One of the other things that we're doing is we're replacing all of the lights in Harrisburg with new LED fixtures. That's happening over the course of next year. And in Mulder Square particularly, we've worked closely with the police department to design even brighter lighting for certain sections and streets. That, along with a comprehensive demolition plan and housing plan, is really going to revitalize the area. So we brought our police department in to help tackle issues of public safety. We've committed hundreds of thousands of dollars to renovation and beautification already. We've also reopened a substation, and we're saturating the Mulder Square area now with new foot patrols. We don't have the funds or the ability to do that everywhere in the city, but we hope that concentrated community policing in that area will really make a difference. And once we're finished, we believe Mulder Square will be one of the safest and most desirable places to live in the city, and that would be quite an accomplishment. So, early in my administration, I was committed to finding ways to curb the proliferation of abandoned and blighted buildings. We moved quickly to stop the straw sales of properties and to hold landlords accountable for code violations. We started a housing court where negligent property owners would face fair and swift judgment. And that housing court, which was new for us, has proven to be a strong tool in our arsenal to tackle blight and reduce the number of condemned and abandoned buildings in Harrisburg. We're aggressively working with the county and the redevelopment authority to review repository lists and identify properties in areas prime for revitalization. We have a real problem in Harrisburg and elsewhere at these tax sales where individuals come in and they buy and then they flip and then they buy again, and the title of these properties keeps changing. For For the first time ever, we reformed the tax sale here so that there was a warning, a disclaimer that individuals had to sign before they could bid. And it also listed and made clear which buildings had been condemned by the city and what the obligations would be if you bought a condemned property. And as a result, that stopped a lot of flipping of condemned properties in Harrisburg over the past year. And then we've been working with the repository list and with the redevelopment authority to make sure that we can accumulate those properties and assemble them into attractive packages for development. So that's just a part of it. Just this past week, we also had our first meeting of the new Harrisburg Land Bank. And we really believe that that is going to help the city in a lot of ways. We seeded the land bank with $250,000, and as many of you know, the new Land Bank Act empowers land banks to go in and take properties before they go to judicial sale, and that will also help us in the fight against speculation. And at the press conference yesterday, when we announced the comprehensive plan, we announced that we had had our first organizational meeting of the land bank. And we were really excited about what they're going to be able to do over the course of the next year in conjunction with the comprehensive plan. Because we don't believe in simply scattered site redevelopment. We believe in a housing strategy that focuses on particular neighborhoods, particular areas where we can make the most difference. So it's clear that Harrisburg is on the move. And after decades of neglect, the challenges facing our administration can sometimes be daunting. We do need more resources that help especially with demolition. There isn't enough money for demolition currently, and that will help improve all of our housing stock. And because our resources are so limited, we are forced to focus our energies and seek out partners for strategic collaboration. Our CDBG funds are vital in our efforts to rehabilitate our dilapidated housing, but they're stretched thinner than ever before. And I think you all know that. The amount of revenue that we've received for CDBG funding has declined every year. And in Harrisburg, we have a very unfortunate situation, which is due to a failed project on the corner of Her and Cameron Street. We had an individual go bankrupt, and we now have to repay that loan using our CDBG dollars, which is going to tap into our budget by about 30% for the next 20 years. We're working with the federal government to hopefully refinance that and push that out, but it's a real problem. Harrisburg is clearly facing many challenges in the years ahead, especially with regard to housing and community development, but our city has emerged from the brink of bankruptcy, from some of its darkest days, and we are on the road to recovery. So I thank you all for holding your housing forum in our capital city. I invite you, after you're over, to step outside the comfort of the Harrisburg Hilton and enjoy the history and beauty of the city that we all call home. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Appreciate your comments, and thank you for being a partner. Whatever we can do to help you on your initiatives, please let us know. How about another round of applause?